Alongside Marino and Frank Stampfl, I am Gregg Sussman. We are going over the NBA Pick'em team win totals presented by MGM Resorts. Your chance to win $1 million by nailing all 30 of the NBA's Pick'em game. If you get 25 right, you get $100 towards the NBA store. We're up to the NBA Southeastern Division, and we begin with the Charlotte Hornets, who have a new coach in James Borrego, and their win total is at 35.5. Maria, last year they won 36. Have they done enough to get back to 36 wins?
I don't think so. I'm going to say under here. I just don't feel comfortable because I don't see the needle moving that much. I actually believe that Dwight Howard had an underrated positive impact on the Hornets last season, and they don't have him now. They do add Tony Parker, who has that Borrego Spurs connection, but I still think it's going to be very different than playing for the San Antonio Spurs, and as a rookie head coach, I just don't see it all coming together.
I respectfully disagree. I think Dwight Howard being out of town is actually addition by subtraction. I think the combination of Cody Zeller and Willie Hernan-Gomez will be just fine. I like the addition of Miles Bridges through the draft. I think they have a lot of youth, athleticism here. Kemba Walker, they have Jeremy Lamb, they have last year's lottery pick Malik Monk. I actually think this team comes right around the number again. I think they go slightly over.
I'm going to agree with Maria Marino, slightly under. I think Frankie's underrating the impact of Dwight Howard. He played 81 games last year. He was awesome. He was really good. I'm sorry. I'm going slightly under. I think it's a lot of mix of talent. We'll see if Kemba Walker stays here all year long. Moving on to the Atlanta Hawks. Their win projection is at 26.5. Last year, they were slightly worse than that at 24 wins. You add in Trae Young. You add in Terrapin legend Alex Len. It's getting better. Taurean Prince is getting better. John Collins is getting better. Give me the over for the Hawks. Frankie?
I like the young nucleus that they have. I just don't have as much enthusiasm as you do, Greg. I like what they're doing with Trae Young and John Collins and Taurean Prince. Again, they have a nice young core of players to grow together. I just don't think that it happens this year. I think they actually come closer to what they did last season, maybe even a little bit fewer wins than that. You know, you guys said that I slept on Dwight Howard. I think Dennis Schroeder was actually the best player on this team a year ago. They now lose him. They do gain Trae Young, but a lot of youth, inexperience there. I go slightly under.
I respectfully agree with Frankie here, and it comes down to, like you said, with Trae Young, even John Collins. Like, these young players are impressive, and I think they have a really high ceiling. However, I don't see sort of that veteran anchor that's going to propel them to more than 25, 26 wins. That's about what I expect the Hawks to come away with this season.
Well, you guys are wrong, because it's going to be over. You're not trusting Trae Young and how good he's going to be. As we continue on in the Southeast Division, we get to the Miami Heat, and their over-under currently is projected at 41.5. Last year they won 44 games, and I think Bam takes a step forward. It'll be interesting to see how the Jimmy Butler thing plays out, and if he winds up in Miami, because that could really move this needle. You're getting at 41.5 here, Frank. I'm going to take the over and just hope Jimmy Butler winds up in Miami.
I just don't really know what's changed from last year to this year that they're going to lose 3 wins off their win total. If anything, I think that this team improves. I think, another year of Josh Richardson, the whole coaching staff there, the front office is talking him up. They think he's going to take another step forward. They still do have Hassan Whiteside if he can stay healthy. They have a veteran point guard in Goran Dragic. And we haven't even mentioned Eric Spoelstra yet, who is a fine head coach. So I don't really know what happened to make people think that they're going to lose 3 more games than they did a year ago. But I'm taking the over and quite comfortably as well.
I agree with you, but I would just like to point out that, we talk about the Eastern Conference being more wide open. We like the overs on a lot of these teams because you don't have to worry about playing LeBron James, etc. But somebody's got to lose. So I just caution in that regard. But the thing is here, the win total, obviously you play teams in the Western Conference too. So those losses can come from anywhere. If they get Jimmy Butler, I believe this win total would skyrocket essentially. But even without Jimmy Butler, like you said, I don't see them being worse than they were last year.
Yeah, I think they improved too. I think they're, for much of the season, many of the main pieces in Miami, they're banged up. And I think if they can just stay healthy and add Jimmy Butler, I think the Miami Heat clearly are going to go over this number. I like it very, very much. Let's get to the Washington Wizards, where, again, health is a big concern, especially in the backcourt. Which way the wind blows with this team, it's all going to be reliant upon John Wall and Bradley Beal. The over-under is 44.5. Last year they finished at 43. Maria, which way you headed with Washington?
I'm headed over here, and it has to do with John Wall.
Over where? I'm just kidding.
Over 45 wins. I'm expecting they can get 45 wins. In other words, about 2 more wins than they had last year. Even though when John Wall was injured, somehow the Wizards kept winning, or maybe even won a little bit more, but I'm counting on the chemistry to be a little bit better when John Wall is totally healthy, and talent usually trumps anything else. So you have John Wall healthy, you have Bradley Beal healthy, and I think this backcourt gets you 2 more wins than you had last year.
Yeah, to me, this is a wild card. I'll take the slight over, but remember, last year, there were some problems within this team.
There's always problems with this team.
There always is, but look, if they stay healthy, if John Wall and Bradley Beal stay healthy, one of the best backcourt tandems in the entire NBA. You add Dwight Howard to this team. You still have Otto Porter, who's one of the best 3-and-D players in the NBA. I think this is a wild card. I'll take the slight over here, Greg.
I'm going to take the slight under at 44.5. There were a lot of problems, like you both said, with Washington. I'm not sure that they improved enough in an Eastern Conference that might be slightly improved toward the top of the area.
What happened to Dwight Howard? Your guy, Dwight Howard.
I don't know if it fits as good as it was in Charlotte.
The fit's not as good.
The fit's not as great.
Now it's not working out
with Washington. Speaking of Dwight Howard, the original Dwight Howard team, the Orlando Magic, the final team in the Southeast Division, their over-unders at 30.5 after winning just 25 games last year. Frank, you know I always love the Magic, but 30.5 is a lot of wins.
Is Mo Bamba going to improve this team by 5 games when he's coming off the bench?
And Jonathan Isaac, man.
I like Jonathan Isaac. I think he adds a 3-and-D element to this team. It adds more length to this defense. It certainly does. I'm going to take the under, though, here. I mean, they still lack talent at the point guard position. They have DJ Augustine and Jerian Grant. Aaron Gordon needs to stay healthy for this team. Again, Jonathan Isaac also needs to stay healthy. Nick Vucevic is a candidate to get traded at some point this season as well. They add Mo Bamba through the draft, but I just don't know that it's enough to propel them over 30 wins. I'll take the under, Greg.
I'm going under as well. I love me some Mo Bamba. I think he's going to be spectacular, but I don't feel comfortable saying that he can affect this team to the point where they win 6 more games than they won last year, and I just think everything else is too much of a question mark for me.
I love Steve Clifford, but then again, I love Frank Vogel. I love the Magic, but I'm going to go under. I just don't see how they can get over that number, unfortunately. That'll do it for the Southeastern Conference. For all of our other NBA win total videos, check out our YouTube channel. For Frank Stampfl and Maria Marino, I'm Gregg Sussman. Thank you so much for watching.